Now at 6, KGW investigates illegal drugs smuggled into Oregon's prisons.
The folks that are sending this in are getting very creative.
Why officers are scrutinizing sheets of paper to find the contraband.
Plus, a local win on the path toward treatment instead of jail.
We're really excited for this early milestone.
What we're learning about Washington County's first deflection success story.
Then, the nearly week-long effort begins to learn just how many people are living on Portland's streets.
It's a barometer of what is happening at this moment.
And later, meet the new four-legged robot helping make PDX a little bit safer.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Pedawanich.
And I'm David Molko. We begin at 6 with a KGW exclusive in our investigation into how illegal drugs like fentanyl and meth have been seeping their way into Oregon's prison system and in ways you might never imagine.
Tonight, investigative reporter Kyle Laboshi takes us inside the state penitentiary for a closer look. Kyle?
To combat the flow of deadly street drugs into state prisons, the Oregon Department of Corrections has taken some new innovative steps, including everything from detection dogs to monitoring toilet water. Despite the armed guards and barbed wire fencing, illegal street drugs are being smuggled into the highly secure Oregon State Penitentiary. So how are they getting in? Often by mail. Images obtained by KGW show heroin hidden in the spine of a book, a greeting card laced with fentanyl, and a paper drawing soaked in meth. Magazines, cards, and letters have all been used to smuggle deadly drugs into the state prison.
The folks that are sending this in are getting very creative.
The prison mailroom is the front line.
I'm holding every single piece of paper up to this LED light. Every single thing.
Here, corrections staff examine every piece of paper by hand, looking for odd edges, stains, or hidden contraband.
Check for photos because people have been able to peel them apart, stick something in the photo.
Earlier this month, the Oregon Department of Corrections changed its mail rules, prohibiting letters written with colored pencils or markers and only permitting white envelopes and paper, making it tougher to conceal drugs.
We have to stop the flow that is going in.
One of the most commonly detected drugs, say officials, is Suboxone, used to treat opioid addiction. It comes in small, flat tabs like this, which can be hidden. Synthetics and powders have also been found, leading to overdoses and dangerous exposures.
We've had staff, especially in our mail rooms, exposed to potential drugs like fentanyl or methamphetamine. We've had to shut down operations in our prison while we do decontamination.
Also searching behind bars, Sig
Easy.
and Trey. These two detection dogs joined the Department of Corrections last year, helping find contraband.
Methamphetamines is a big one.
In this demonstration, Trey follows an odor in a prison cell. He sniffs high and low before signaling he found something. Far more effective than a human search.
So that was maybe 6 grams of heroin.
And for those drugs that aren't detected, prison officials are monitoring toilet water. A pilot project started last year takes samples of wastewater to better understand drug use among prisoners, what's getting in and when.
Help us identify what the substances are.
Prison officials admit drugs and contraband can also come in through visitors or corrupt staff, but their primary focus, shutting down a key smuggling route, the mail. The Oregon Department of Corrections is also working to expand drug treatment for inmates throughout the state. That's an important piece. Worth noting, there has been pushback on those new mail restrictions. Advocates and families with loved ones in custody felt the changes went too far by blocking greeting cards and prohibiting kids from sharing crayon or colored pencil drawings with their parents.
Wow, an eye-opening story. Thank you so much for your reporting on this, Kyle.
Okay, we want to get to breaking news now in Gresham and reports of a shooting in Vance Park. This is a live look at the scene. A number of police vehicles there and crime tape as well. Still active by all means. Police say they were first called here around 4:15 this afternoon. Right now, details are extremely limited. No word on any casualties, injuries at this point. We're working to learn more and we'll keep you posted.
Now to tonight's other headlines. A grand jury has indicted 2 people accused of breaking in and robbing businesses all over Portland. The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office says they're part of a ring that hit more than 100 businesses. You can see their video before of one of the businesses hit, Grassa on Southeast Hawthorne. 27-year-old Courtney Carlisle is facing 35 charges. 33-year-old Joshua Lucero is looking at 50 charges. According to court documents, the two hit multiple places like Baby Doll Pizza on Southeast Stark, Grassa on Northwest 23rd, and Old Town Brewing on Northeast MLK. We spoke to District Attorney Nathan Vasquez about this case today during a taping of Straight Talk.
We just developed a case where we're dropping about a 100-count indictment that involves a ring of, up to 10 people that were terrorizing local small businesses. We think it could be as many as 100 different businesses that were hit, and they were hit multiple times. And so we've been very aggressive and active in doing that. And that indictment is coming out, and we're very excited about that because my sincere hope is that it brings relief to these victim businesses and to our community that's been suffering.
The two, Carlisle and Lucero, also faced charges in Washington and Clackamas counties.
Authorities have arrested 2 teenagers in connection with the murder of a man who police say tried to stop a robbery in the Gateway Fred Meyer parking lot. A 15-year-old boy was booked into juvenile detention today on murder and robbery charges. This comes a week after a 16-year-old boy was arrested for the same charges. The two allegedly shot and killed Jonathan Trent earlier this month while Trent was trying to stop the teens from stealing a woman's purse. Authorities say they believe the 16-year-old is also involved in 4 other robberies earlier this month.
Today, a federal judge in Seattle issued a national temporary restraining order to keep the Trump administration from overturning birthright citizenship. The president's executive order would mean children born in the U.S. would not get citizenship documents if their parents are undocumented or have temporary visas. Oregon, Washington, Arizona, and Illinois are suing to stop it. The judge's move today means Trump's executive order will be on hold until courts can consider whether it's constitutional.
Most of the Oregon strike teams that went to Southern California to help battle wildfires will soon be coming home. Hundreds of firefighters from our area have spent the last 2 weeks working on the Palisades and Eaton fires. It's Oregon's largest out-of-state deployment in the history of the Fire Marshal's office. 4 strike teams will be staying in the LA area for the time being.
And the wildfires in California and severe weather in other parts of the country have contributed to a critical need for blood donations. That's because so many appointments have been canceled. Bloodworks Northwest says it needs around 1,000 units of blood per day to keep up with hospital demands. The Red Cross had to cancel nearly 500 blood drives, and collectively, it's resulted in more than 12,000 units going uncollected nationwide.
I've talked to people that have we've been in a shortage and they are waiting blood, and that adds a big stress on people that think that they may not get the blood that they need, and they're counting on it every single day.
The Red Cross just opened its newest blood donor center in Beaverton, and they've already started collecting donations. Matt?
All right, Christine, thanks very much. Hey, a little bit of a change in our weather tonight. We have clouds, which we haven't seen very much of through the week, right? In Portland, it is still 42 degrees, and it won't get as cold tonight as it has the last couple of nights, courtesy of said cloud cover, which will help to trap the heat, keep it a bit warmer. But it was cold this morning, dropped down to 24 in Vancouver, 26 Aurora, Portland 27, which is a couple degrees warmer than we were yesterday morning. Around the state, single digits in parts of eastern Oregon. Again, teens were widespread, and we had 20s on the Oregon coast. With the clear sky, the long nights of winter, cold to cool air mass in place and light winds, that's what's going to happen. We're just going to radiate the heat away, and that's why these temperatures get so cold. But with the dry air, that's also why we warm up to near 50 in the afternoon. In fact, I even saw some temperatures in southwest Oregon in the mid-60s today. Now, here's that cloud band that's now moving south across Oregon, the northern edge, just exiting the BC-Washington border. That'll pass south of the Columbia River during the day tomorrow. So that all boils down to this. The clouds clear during the day tomorrow, and so begins another stretch of clear weather as the dry weather will continue. We'll get breezy this weekend as the east winds resume and kick back in. We'll have cold mornings in the 20s again. And it looks like we may finally go back to a more active weather pattern. Valley rain, mountain snow late next week. We'll take a look at that and the rain that's headed towards California in a bit, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, a bit overdue for that. Thanks, Matt. See you in a few.
Now to a success story in Washington County. Officials there are touting the first person to complete the county's deflection program, which gives some people caught with drugs a pathway to rehab instead of jail.
John Adams is live in Hillsborough now. John, what do we know about this particular case?
Well, the person's identity wasn't shared with us due to privacy concerns, but we do know they completed the 6-month program ahead of schedule, and that dozens of other people here in Washington County are hoping to do the same soon. In 2024, Oregon lawmakers repealed parts of the often criticized Measure 110, ending the decriminalization of minor drug possession. In its place came House Bill 4002, which funded deflection programs across the state.
Deflection broadly was expected to be individual county by county.
Deflection gives people with minor drug offenses the option to go through treatment programs and avoid possible jail time. Washington County now has its first successful completion of that program.
We're really excited for this early milestone. It's a big deal for our program. It's an even bigger deal for our participant.
Danielle Farr is the lead of Washington County's deflection operations team. Farr told us people are given the option of deflection when they are cited by an officer. If they choose deflection, they meet with a case manager who assesses their needs and connects them with a treatment program. If they complete it, deflection is considered a success.
So this means that this particular participant has the ability to go on and be successful and engage in their community without any sort of criminal charges, any fines, any jail time.
Since the program began on September 1st, Washington County has had 40 people begin the deflection process. 31 remain in the program right now.
Pay special attention.
Farr told us the program is expected to take about 6 months to complete, but can be finished early, like in the case of the first graduate.
But if no other needs are identified and they are on the road to recovery, we want to make sure that we are stepping out of their life and let them go do that.
As the program nears its 6-month mark, Farr anticipates more people finishing deflection in the near future.
We really expect for those completions to start increasing and rolling in, snowballing.
And to complete that deflection program here in Washington County, you have to finish a sobriety program and then pass a series of drug tests just to prove that you are drug-free and to show the initiative that you will likely take up more sobriety classes in the future. David and Christine, back to you.
Good to hear. It sounds like the system is working. John Adams in Hillsborough there. Meanwhile, the point-in-time count that gathers valuable data on homeless people across the metro area is now underway.
That's right. Our Devin Haskins now has been looking into what happened today. So, Devin, what did you learn?
Well, volunteers and outreach workers are now asking homeless people several questions, including where they were staying last night, January 22nd. It's in an effort to get a bigger picture, a snapshot in time of the houseless population here in our area. Now, this survey is federally mandated, and it includes those living on shelters, such as in RVs and on the streets, and will be combined with those living in shelters. It started this morning and ends next Wednesday with volunteers and outreach workers surveying people on the streets, asking questions that include details like age, race, and length of time that they've spent unhoused. Now, this isn't an accurate count. In fact, organizers say it is undercounted because it is voluntary to answer. It can also be hard to contact every single person.
The goal is not to have a precise number. We're never going to have that. Even on the census, the first question they ask is, where do you live? Right? But knowing the scope and magnitude of the people we're reaching is really important. It's a barometer of what is happening at this moment.
Now, also camp sweeps, encampment sweeps have also been put on pause by area law enforcement until this count is done. The count should be turned in to the federal officials this spring. We should know the final numbers later this summer. Back to you.